The global semiconductor shortage that has affected many industries for more than a year. During this pandemic, this industry is see some terrible condition, face some terrible conditions, and this shortage in the chief semiconductor industry is dragging on. The situation is so bad that now the busiest shopping season of the year is likely to impact it, with everything from gaming console to the new iPhone industry expected to be hard to come by due to these situations. And with the expert predicting the situation that could improve by the middle of the next year when more suppliers are expected to become available. Everyone seems to be asking what led to this major supply chain disruption in this manufacturing industry. Electronics manufacturing industry, that is the main priority, and why it's taking so long to fixing these issues. The important parameter is why is there a semiconductor shortage currently. The global semiconductor shortage has affected the industry, and because of that they are either forced to pay more for the product or being asked to wait for a little more. This shortage has affected the smartphones, personal computers, gaming consoles, automobile industry and medical devices, and some other important electronics equipment for the home appliances in daily uses. In October, Apple said it lost $6 billion to chip shortage in the last quarter, and it's expected an even greater loss for the supply chain issues in the December quarter. A Japanese gaming giant revised the sales forecast for the current fiscal year that due to the effect of this global semiconductor shortage, there has not been a major improvement in the situation since the beginning of this fiscal year. The Sony also expect to make a fewer important changes to console that already in short supply since it launched back in November last year. The chips or the processor powers every possible product on the market from high-end cars to washing machines. The consumption of this integrated circuit is a product that is ever increasing, and a large manufacturing sector for this kind of integrated circuits are the part of the supply chain management. During the pandemic, the manufacturers came to a standstill, impacting the supply chain of this product that needs one or more of these kind of situations to be faced. The automotive sector almost shut down the last year. Chip makers shifted the capacity to cater the condition in the high demand, increasing demand for this particular product for the electronics equipments such as cell phones, laptop, electronics, gadget, smart devices. The order for this advanced chip are placed well in advance, and the manufacturer have not yet been able to come back to the pre-pandemic production schedules to cater all the sectors involved in this industry. With this industry, these automotive chips are a medium level complexity, and compared to the really small and extremely complicated ones on the smartphones and personal computers, building something this small featuring billions of transistors in an expensive processes. The chip fabrication or the manufacturing that lines is really where the factory comes in, and the process can take a few months. The foundry is not one factory, it's an ecosystem. That's an important factor. We have to consider that, we have to remember. Adding those cutting edge fabrication that cost a 10 billion US dollar to build and also require some clean water, uninterruptible electricity, and skilled labor and workforce. To talk about how a manufacturing achieve, you are not going to get some expert like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos to invest into the cheap manufacturing. They are really basically some legacy in this technology where there are decent return, but there are also very high risk that are involved in this industry. The global chip shortage began in 2020 with many nations imposing a full lockdown in the wake of the pandemic outbreak and hitting the production supply. Industry experts believe that the phenomenon could last till 2023. That affect India by late last year. By December 2020, a Boast India unit had already flagged this issue, signaling its inability to cater to the auto sector demand in the country. And the same month, Mahindra and Mahindra too said its production and sales would hit for the same reason. That's the important parameter. The US, the company has been gobbling up for this increasing share of retail with the COVID pandemic pushing more shoppers to be online, and Amazon has only get stronger and stronger competitor for this online transformation market, and the industry is moved to this e-commerce giant. And one famous for the prioritizing those growth over the profit, company is now enjoying both. Amazon and Walmart are very tough competitor, though one has remained a such bigger and network more than 5,000 US stores and proved to be an advantage during this pandemic conditions. Almost the 1 year after the global chip shortage, the problems are increasing for many customers as delay get even longer and sales are lost. Manual meaningful the order that involve for the for the transmission chip for the utility monitoring devices made by the New York-based PowerX firm. It told that the chips would arrive in future in next 6 to 8 months after the condition and the global semiconductor shortage is worsening. Now at the time with wait and wait and see principle, the times lengthening the buyers hoarding those products and the potential end looking less likely to materialize by the next year. The demand did not moderate. As expected, the supply routes got clogged and unpredictable production high caps that slammed the factory already running at full capacity. What left is widespread confusion for the manufacturers and the buyers. Alike some buyers trying to place a new order that getting delivery dates in 2024. The operations and some electronic component distribution that helps company find those cheap product and really feels that as if they are running out. The semiconductor industry has been unable to keep those pace, leading to lost revenue across the board, and pain is spreading beyond the initially affected. In automakers, home appliances manufacturers, produce, producer of other products, including the medical devices, the smartphone industry also grew by just 6% year by year, or half the initial forecast from the earlier this year. Because of the steep chip shortage, continue to the counterpart the research which track the handset shipments for the future supplies, which caused them to the loss of sales, and it's more than constrained by the supply chain of these other components in the industry, and this situation will be expected to get overwhelmed by the shortage to the last till 2023. We have to wait and see how this condition will generally resolve and things get back to normal in this important manufacturing industry in daily life of our requirement. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.